So at 16, 17, I'm getting ready to graduate, and I'm starting to realize that my father has cancer. You go through, I think, a phase of shock when you are a child of a parent who has cancer. You know what cancer is, but you don't really know what that entails until you start seeing the side effects of cancer. You start seeing them doing chemo, you start seeing them with radiation, appointment after appointment, countless doctors saying one thing or another, and not knowing if your father is going to live to walk you down the aisle, if he's going to be able to be around to watch me graduate even high school. I think you kind of start grieving before the loss. A lot of times you start thinking and overthinking and wondering when is the time gonna be that they're gonna call you and tell you that your father's not gonna make it. I had so many times where I would fear the phone ringing because my reality was my father was sick with cancer, and you never knew what was gonna happen and when it was gonna happen. So I want to walk you through one special day. Everyone, whether you're a male or female, has a 16th birthday come, and for the girls, you usually have a sweet 16, a big party with a big dress. You dance with your dad. If you're Hispanic, you have a quinceañera, and it's even more special. At 16, for me, my dad was in Jacksonville. And in Jacksonville, he was getting chemo. What we did for my sweet 16 is we went up to Orlando. It's about a 4.5, depending on how many times you stop, and we used to stop a lot. The bathroom breaks, snack breaks, and so forth. So it usually took us from Bonita to Orlando about a good 5 hours, give or take. But there was a restaurant back then used to be called Downtown Disney, now it's Disney Springs. It was a Cuban Bongos Cafe, and we rented some space upstairs, had some family that was from Titusville meet us there. I had a beautiful green dress that I bought with my grandmother, my mother's mom, and my goal was to share this moment with my dad via tape recorder. So I had my camcorder, tape recorder, video recorder, and I recorded everything. I was excited to show my dad. He wasn't there, he was having chemo, and I wanted to show him that I was, despite everything, still trying to have a good time. So I recorded the band and the first floor. We were on the second floor, the family and so forth, and I was so excited to show my dad. Can't remember if it was a few days after, but we went up to Jacksonville to visit. Before that, I wanted to check the camcorder to see how the video came out. And when I checked it, it was blank. There was absolutely nothing on there. And my heart broke. I wanted to show my dad so bad that I had a good birthday, and nothing was recorded. And I remember bawling my eyes out because it was a special moment, and my dad wasn't there. He wasn't able to take part in it, and the least I wanted to do was be able to show him my experience, and it did not go that way. So that was such a huge disappointment, and 16 years old, just wanting to show my dad that I had a good time, and I couldn't do that. And I've always dealt with depression, having my dad have cancer, and grieving before the loss of my dad, not knowing when it was going to happen, and seeing him go through such a hard fight, and then adding on top of that such a special moment that I wanted to share with him, just gone. From one day to the next, that joy and excitement I had went to sorrow. It went to heartbreak. It went to despair.